Assembly Payments Drop-in UI. This is the perfect way to securely capture credit cards without a lot of coding on your side. Now let's see how it works with this simple example. This is what the drop-in UI will look like to your end users. Now let's see the code that makes this happen. The first thing that you'll want to ensure you have on the page where you want to initiate the card capture is the reference to the script assembly.js. This will allow you to reference dropin.create. This is what will put the iframe into the container so your end user can enter their card. So we're going to look at the 4 different parameters that are required. The first is the card token auth. This is generated on the server by calling the generate token API and specifying the token type of card. This will return a one-time use code. Now, the second parameter is the environment. In this case, we're testing, so it's pre-live. When you're ready to release, change that to production. The next parameter is target element ID. In this case, it's called container, and this references the div in which the iframe will be injected. Now, this can be called anything you like, but it just needs to match. And finally, the card account creation callback. This is the function that will be called on successful entry and capture of a credit card in the drop-in UI. This returns the card account result, which is the same as you would get if you called the create card account API. Now that's all you need to cause the drop-in UI to appear on your page. Be sure and handle any errors in instantiating through the drop-in.create function, and you can check out the documentation for the errors there. But the most important one to consider is a missing card token auth. Remember, this is a one-time use code that will expire, which is why we also recommend ensuring that the page refreshes so that the end user is never going to encounter that error. The iframe that is created by the drop-in UI is fully responsive. It will automatically adjust to the size of the container that you give it and ensure that there are no scroll bars visible, even though it is an iframe. The form validates all input on the client side, so you don't have to handle any of the errors. The name field must be the full name, including spaces, and it will prompt the user if they do not enter their complete name. The card number must be either a Visa or MasterCard in this case. As they start to type, it will detect the card type and show the appropriate card indicator so they know they're on the right track. The expiry date will also be checked for valid dates, and an error will be shown if an invalid date is entered. Once all of the fields have been successfully entered, the Submit button will activate, and they could submit their card details. Once they click the button, that will trigger the callback to the function that you referenced in your instantiation. And our callback, it's actually really simple, and all it does is pop up and say what the card account ID is. However, yours will be much more user-friendly, and of course not include this pop-up. You'll notice that on the form that the data has been cleared. There's also a function called clear form in case you ever need to do that directly, but that happens automatically on success, and the button also turns to success. Hopefully this quick walkthrough demonstrates how easy it is to use the drop-in UI. Much less coding for you, and still complying with PCI. Check out the documentation for more details.